Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm Ellen Gormley and today we're making this lovely buttercup stitch. And so we will take, I'm going to use multicolored yarn though. It is a small worsted weight yarn and I'm going to take an eye size hook because it's my favorite. I'm going to, the stitch repeat is actually 10. So if I take the very start of a repeat and count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 to the stitch right before the repeat would start, there's 10 stitches. So we've got 10 and then we need some for turning chains. So I am going to do 10 plus 1 plus 3. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. That's a multiple of 10 plus 1 and plus 1, 2, 3 more. This swatch here is a swatch I chained 34. Okay, so we're going to use the multicolored yarn, but we're going to start here and work in our rows. I think this would make a really gorgeous shawl, even if you make it like a big rectangular stole shaped shawl. Or a crushable scarf, which would be fantastic for traveling. So we are going to double crochet in the 5th chain from the hook. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Double crochet in the 5th, the back bar, back loop, back ridge of the 5th chain from the hook. All right, now we're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, skip 1 chain, and single crochet in the next chain. This beginning foundation row is kind of tricky. The whole stitch pattern is a little bit tricky. It's not hard stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is what we're chaining now. But it does require you to pay attention, as is the case with lace most of the time. We're going to skip 1, 2, 3 chains, and in the next chain, we will single crochet. So we are starting this big fat repeat of 10 stitches wide. And one repeat is 1 chain 5 here and plus this 3 double crochet 2 together cluster. So this is one whole repeat. So 1, 2, 3, we've got 3 going in this swatch. Okay, this is what we have so far. We have our beginning and we have a chain 5 loop. Now we're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and we will skip 1 stitch, 1 chain, and in the next 3 chains, so we're skipping the purple one right here, and in the next 3 magenta ones, this is why multicolored yarn often comes in handy, we're going to do a 3 double crochet together or 3 double crochet decrease, however you want to look at it. Yarn over, insert the hook in the next targeted chain, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through just 2 loops on the hook and leave it there. We're going to do that 2 more times in each of the next 2 chains, and then pull them all together. So to do it one more time, we're going to yarn over, insert the hook in the next chain, yarn over, pull up a loop through the fabric, yarn over, pull through 2 loops on the hook. We now have done that 3 times, and we'll tie them all together, decreasing those 3 stitches, 3 chains into 1 stitch by yarning over and pulling through all the loops on the hook. Okay, now anytime we do this double crochet 3 together, we are going to then chain 1, 2, 3 on either side of it. So we did 3 chains here, then we did 3 together, and then we did 3 chains after. So that's a little bit of a hint that will help you with this pattern. So now we will skip 1 chain. We're going to skip 1 chain and single crochet in the next. We're going to chain 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3, 4, 5, and skip 3 stitches, 1, 2, 3 chains, single crochet in the next. When we get to the end of the row, there should be 4, oh, I only have 3, 1, 2, 3, oh, no, that's correct, 1, 2, 3 chains left. I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, and in the last, skip 1 chain, and in the last 2 chains, we're going to decrease double crochet 2 together or decrease 2 double crochets together. So yarn over, insert the hook in the next available targeted chain, yarn over, pull up a loop, and leave it there. Yarn over and pull through 2 loops on the hook and leave it there. Then yarn over, insert the hook in the last chain, pull, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops on the hook, leave it there. So we have 2 double crochets that are not quite finished, both hanging out there on the hook, and we're going to decrease those 2 stitches together by yarning over and pulling through all the loops on the hook, decreasing those 2 stitches down to 1. We now have row 1 finished. And I think we have figured out the magic of the multiples for this pattern. It is a multiple of 10 plus 1 plus 3. So this one was 34. This one was 20 plus 1 plus 3, so 24, okay? So let's get on to row 2, shall we? So now we know that the hint is when we double crochet 3 together like this, we have the 3 chains on either side of it. And we will only do the double crochet 3 togethers, or the 3 double crochet clusters, not cluster, decreases. We'll do those all on one row, and then the next row is 5 double crochets in 1 stitch. So it's alternating rows. Those are the 2 main elements of this pattern, and we're never going to do them in the same row. We'll do 1 row of one thing and then 1 row of the next. Okay, let's get on to row 2. So row 2, we're going to chain 1 and turn. Okay, and in this top tied together double crochet 2 together, we're just placing a single crochet in the top of this. And now we will chain 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3, 4, 5. And we're skipping this single crochet here, and in the middle chain of the next chain 5 loop, or you could just slide them all in there, but I'm going to choose to be precise, so you can do what you want to do, but be consistent. For me, I am going to actually pick the 1, 2, 3rd chain of this chain 5 loop and put all of my double crochets there. And the reason for that is I just don't want this shell to be like sliding around on that chain 5 loop. I want it to stay anchored. So I'm going to go ahead and make the effort to put it right in that chain. So I'm going to target my chain where I want it to go, and I'm going to place 5 double crochets in it. So once you get the first one in there and you know where you're going, it's not so bad. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so another hint with this pattern is when you're making these double crochet 5 groups, you'll be chaining 5. Okay, so did you see the logic here? So when we do the 3s, then we do 3 chains and 3 chains. But when we do the 5s, we're doing 5 chains. Hopefully it will all become clear. So we have our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 double crochets. So we're going to chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And in the top of this back side, the wrong side of this double crochet 3 together between my thumbs, I'm going to place a single crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 again, 3, 4, 5. We do 5 chains when we're doing the 5 double crochet row, which is the bottom of the tulip or buttercup or whatever you want to call it. So in the 1, 2, 3, 3rd chain of the chain 5 group, I'm going to place 5 double crochets. So this is what it looks like. Okay. So go ahead and place 5 of them in there. You can just place 5 in the chain 5 loop without picking a specific chain, but I just really wanted to be more precise. And when it comes to lace, sometimes precise is prettier. It just blocks up better. So we have the 5 double crochets here. So how many chains are we supposed to do next? Do you remember? If we do 5 double crochets, it means we're going to do 5 chains. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We are at the end of the row. We're skipping this single crochet, and in the chains and the double crochet here that we started out with is almost like a double crochet together. It's a foundation row that we're not going to do again, but we're going to go ahead and do a single crochet in that to mirror the very beginning of the row. Okay, here's where we are so far. So pretty. What do you think of the multicolored yarn? Do you guys love multicolored yarns, or do you find it muddy, or do you think it's fantastic? Tell me what you think in the comments below. I think sometimes it confuses the stitch pattern. Like I think you can see the stitch pattern overall much better in a solid yarn, but boy, pretty colorful yarn is gorgeous too. And it hides mistakes really well. Okay, so now we're going to chain 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 for this next row. and we will single crochet in the first chain 5 loop. I'm not going to be precise and just slide it in there. And now we're back to the 3 double crochets together. So how many chains are we doing? 3. So we're going to chain 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And these 5 double crochets, I'm going to do the middle 3 is where I'll put the double crochet 3 together. So here, here, and here. I'm going to skip 1, and in the next 3, I will do a 3 double crochet decrease or a 3 double crochet together, either terminology you want to use. So yarn over, insert the hook in the skip 1 here, so skip the magenta one, and in the light blue one, we're going to do an approximation of a double crochet. Then we'll do it again, yarn over, insert the hook in the next stitch, yarn over, pull through the fabric, yarn over, pull through 2 loops on the hook and leave it there. We now have 2 of those. We're going to do 1 more in the next stitch. And when we have those 3 attempts or approximations of the double crochet unfinished, we're going to now tie it all together by yarning over and pulling through all the loops on the hook. Now, because we did that 3 double crochet together, we are now going to what? Chain 3, 1, 2, 3. You know that I really believe that crochet is a relaxing and valuable use of our time. So I hope that you're enjoying this pattern. Even though it's lace and it's so I chain 3 and I single crocheted in the chain 5 space, and I'm going to chain 3 again. Even though it's kind of complicated and you have to pay attention, it's okay. And actually, I'm going to chain 5 here because I need to jump over this huge gap. So before we do the next double crochet 3 together, so I had to jump this whole gap here, the whole gap. So we did chain 5 over the gap, but when it's time to do the double crochet 3 together, we're going to chain 3 again right here. Crochet is a valuable and relaxing use of our time. At the same time, it's important that your brain be engaged. And in some ways, when you have a more complicated pattern like this one, we're doing a double crochet 3 together, it can be very meditative. Yarn over and pull through all the loops on the hook because you're forced to think about what you're doing, and you can let the troubles of the day just fade away. So single crochet in the chain 5 space, and then chain 2, and we're going to do a treble crochet, yarn over twice, and put the stitch in that final chain. So it doesn't make all your problems go away, but it might give you just a little bit of a break from them to do some lace crochet. So this is where we're at so far. So pretty. I love this little buttercup motif that's happening here of the 5 double crochets plus the 3 double crochet decrease on top. So let's do another row, shall we? We are going to now chain 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and in this same double treble crochet, we're going to double crochet twice. 1 and 2. We're doing like a half of a shell essentially, but of course it's 3/5 of a shell because you can't do 2.5 stitches. So now we will chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All of the chain spaces on this row are 5s. We will single crochet in the top of that 3 double crochets decreased together and chain 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then in the next chain 5 space, that's where we jumped the gap. We are going to place 5 double crochets. I'm going to do the 3rd chain of that bridge in that precise stitch rather than just in the space itself, so that it will block and stay a little bit neater. It's really a personal preference. Also, on the other ones, when I just single crocheted in the space, like I don't know why I didn't want to put them just in the chain there. You totally could. 2, 3, 4, 5. Whatever you decide to do, just be consistent. It really does not matter. There's so many ways to do it. Just do what makes you feel comfortable. If it stresses you out, then don't do it. Okay, so then we're single crocheting in the top of the 3 double crochets together, and we're chaining 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now on this big turning chain over here, we will Yeah, we're going to pick like the fourth one here, and in this corner chain up here, we are going to place 3 double crochets. That will mirror what the other side started. So 1, 2, and 3. So I dropped it and I picked it back up again. It happens. Okay, so you kind of know where you're going because you will do the same thing on one end that you did on the other so that it looks symmetrical vertically. Like if you put a line down the vertical line through the middle and you folded it over, it's symmetrical that way. So now we have, and we're offsetting these tulips like bricks. So you or buttercups. So what you can already see that probably there's going to be a 3 double crochet together thing right here on top of this grouping of 5 double crochets, right? You can see that kind of that's where it's going to go next. And you might also see, especially when you look at our swatch, that on the top of this half of a 5 double crochet group, there's going to be some extra stitches here that looks a little bit like a half of a double crochet 3 together. So let's do another row, and then I'll point you to some other lacy stitches. So now we are going to 1, 2, 3, and we're approximating the 3 double crochets together by just double crocheting here. And so these 2 stitches together sort of look like a double crochet 2 together to kind of be half of a 3 double crochet together. But of course you can't do 1.5 stitches. Okay, 1, 2, 3 on the other side of our little decreasing thing. Then we are going to single crochet in the chain 5 space. We're jumping the gap 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, jumping this big gap here, jumping over the single crochet and putting a single crochet here in the next chain 5 loop. So you can imagine that this here is where the next double crochet 5 grouping is all going to go in the middle of that chain 5 gap right there. Okay, so if we are putting a 3 double crochet decrease right here, when we know there's 3 chains on either side of it, we know we need to chain 1, 2, 3 now, and then do our 3 double crochet together right here, skipping that first double crochet of the 5 double crochet group and the last one. So we're centering those that 3 double crochet together thing right over the top of that bowl of double crochets. And then 1, 2, 3, because we do that on either side. And then we will single crochet in the chain 5 space, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to span that big gap, to jump the big gap of the single crochet where the next bowl of 5 double crochets will go. Single crochet in the chain 5. Okay, how do we finish this row, you ask? I will tell you. 1, 2, 3, and instead of doing a 3 double crochet together, we're going to do a 2. So we're going to skip the first double crochet, and in the next one and the turning chain, we are doing a 2 double crochet together so that it approximates or looks like half of a 3 because you can't do 1.5 stitches. All right, so here is where we are. What do you think of that? Oh, so much fun. Okay, so we will then repeat these, not the foundation row, but these rows over and over again. So it is now time to chain 1 and turn, and chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we are back to this row here, row 2. So we will do rows 2, 3, 4, 5 over and over again. This first row does not get repeated, but rows 2 with the 5 double crochets, then the 3 together, and then the single crochet, and then the chain 5 gap. That's the stack on top of each other that you should have when it's time to repeat again. I hope you've enjoyed this lacy crochet buttercup stitch, and here's more lace patterns, and here's some Tunisian lace patterns if you're interested. I will see you on the next video. Pick one. Thanks. Bye.